There's something special about the start of March here in Talk on Tuesdays, and I see. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Man, Val, like I tell you, I'm chilling.
Oh man, March Madness, St. Patty's. It's a whole bunch of things happening,
It's a
of
whole lot
course.
of things. And you would never think, Val, that the month of March, March Madness, St. Patty's, this year we got the women of, in celebration of women in sports and just women month. March is like, it's springtime. The time go back next week. Everything's happening in
Up
March.
goes up. We spring forward,
Goes
which
up.
is a beautiful
Hey,
thing.
you know me, I'll be falling back again.
But it's another edition of Talk on Tuesday, and we have a special guest that's going to take us to Martha's Vineyard. It'll be
Ooh.
fun. Oh my gosh, we'll be here, and here we go. Woo-hoo. It's another edition of Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays with me and Coach Tony. So
Back in
grateful
the
that you guys.
house.
Yeah.
Man, exciting show tonight. Matter of fact, I thought about you earlier today, Val. How's that weather? I heard that weather was crazy at home today.
Yeah, the weather was, I'll get to that in like 39 seconds. My goodness. But what I'm going to do is let you guys know, my goodness, a DJ saved my life. It's the new book, the new e-book from yours truly, Val the Voice Johnson. And of course, I let you guys know we've had several sales already. We're so grateful for all who have purchased a copy of it. Our original release date was scheduled for today, but
Right.
it's in pre-edit mode, Coach. So, the one thing about self-publishing is when the editor tells you she's not ready, you listen to her. It's like E.F. Hutton. When she
Right.
talks,
When
I
EF
listen.
talk, everybody be listening.
That's But do me a favor, if you've already purchased a copy, thank you. Mr. Springer, who is our moderator, has already gotten a copy. He's requesting one. And of course, also, I want to thank Terrence P. Elmore, a guest of the show as well, Terry London, Nicole Thomas, Satish. Thank you so very much. Jill Collins, and a few others that have gone ahead and got the book. I want to personally thank you. And my goodness, it is phenomenal, phenomenal. Thank you so very much for doing that. And of course, if you would like to be a part of our Interludes Extra community, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/interludes. We mentioned this on the show yesterday, Coach, that yesterday was Chicago's 187th birthday. Isn't that
And still looking
exciting?
good. Still looking good.
Still looking good, but still not feeling good.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday, it was 71 degrees. I
Right.
have no idea what happened today.
And you know what happened? The old saying happened. If you
What
don't
happened?
like what's going on in Chicago, just stick around. You know what the saying is.
I know, I know. We want to say hello to Wise Choice
Wise,
Media.
man, wise choice, the media. Hey, Wise, I want to let you know, my brother, I've been catching some of your shows on LinkedIn. I've been doing a couple things on, man. Appreciate
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, Wise going live at 5. So it's funny. A lot of the guests that are here end up over there as well. So I'm starting to, as I bring people here, I'm like, look, if you don't mind, we got a whole place that you can go to. We got other platforms. You want to talk about health and healing and then talk about community. That's Wise going live at 5. He's going to be going live this Friday with Nidos Azura, and she's a children's author's book. So, of course, I'm surrounding myself with authors. That's how that goes.
I
Thank you
see.
so very much, Mr. Springer. Look what he put up there, man. a DJ saved my life. Whoop, whoop.
Last night, and not that's not the last night. A DJ saved my life. Not that one.
Actually, it is. It is.
Uh-oh, uh-oh,
It
uh-oh,
is based on that song.
uh-oh,
You vibing,
uh-oh.
you vibing.
I'm
And
vibing with, hey, get the book as well as making sure that you continue to tune in so you can get this on the spot information from Val the Voice and, of course, the one and only Coach Tony. Make sure you tune in, you share with your friends, like this show, and do more than one thing. Subscribe multiple times.
of course, and of course, March is Women's History Month. I'm
Whoop,
always
whoop.
excited about that. Whoop whoop
There you
to the
go.
women. Whoop whoop to the women.
There you go. That's why we got to get this book out, Val. You gotta make sure the book is out in the month, girls. You can so when you reflect back, back in the day, you be like, I remember the month it came out. It was during Women's Month. See what I'm saying?
And like we mentioned earlier, a lot of good things have been happening for women in this particular month and beyond. And of course, I want to join definitely the things that are happening with Women's History Month, of course, to make history and step into becoming an author. This is so exciting for me, Coach. But here's the thing: when you sit down to pen a screenplay, I've done that, but
Right.
also to pen a play as well as direct and do some other amazing things behind the camera. This is a Chicago native, and he got a chance to come on our show probably about a year and some change ago with myself. And when Mr. Wamba was around, we got a chance to have a wonderful chit chat with him. Uh, I have an IMDb credit, Coach. You know what?
Okay.
Tracy Kincaid was shooting her music video, and guess who was the director of that music video?
None other than my girl, Pam, Val the Voice.
No, I wasn't the director.
Oh,
I
oh,
was
okay.
acting. I,
Okay. It's got to be probably the brother that we're gonna bring on tonight is probably the one who's directing that.
exactly,
There
exactly.
you
And
go.
right now he has a docu-series about Martha's Vineyard. We're really excited to bring him
Yeah.
on. He's Chicago's own Alvin Malcolm Daniels. Brother, welcome to Talk on Tuesdays. Woo!
Brother,
Thank you.
Alvin, what's up, baby?
Blessings. Thank you for having me.
Hey, before we ever get the show started, whenever we are what we call lopsided and loaded, we always represent the South Side, baby. So represent.
That's what it is. South side in the house.
South Side. There you go. There you go.
Right?
Oh.
A few times on the west side too. So I
Yeah.
love Chicago.
Yeah. You got to. But see, that's them. Hey, Val, what do we say last night? That's that true Chicago cat right there.
That's
It's
right.
always South Side, West Side. We forget about the North Side, but they still with us.
They still do everything up there. That's right.
Yeah.
So Alvin, it's been a pleasure getting to know you over these last couple of years and seeing how you mentor talent at Chicago State University, and you've been there now over 2 decades. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, and that was from the set of us doing the music video with Tracy Kincaid. But definitely, Alvin, when you are sitting down to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can just say that picture is amazing. That young man, his name is Pierce.
Okay.
Back in 1988, I left the team at Boston University to pursue filmmaking because I wasn't getting no tick. Kyrie Irving's dad was in front of me at Boston University, and the last game, the cheerleaders played, the water boy played, the fans played. I was the only person who didn't play. So that was the reason that I left the team to get into filmmaking. I've been in filmmaking over 30 years. Fast forward, that young man right there played basketball on the Chicago State basketball team up until last year. He left to pursue filmmaking, and now he's doing the darn thing. So it's just incredible how life.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what you call things coming full circle, brother.
Right?
Full circle.
He just got a internship at Paramount Studios, and I'm just happy to say I was part of his journey. So
that's sweet.
Yeah,
that's amazing, Alvin. Come on. Like I said, I saw it, and you bragged on the set, Coach Tony. I saw him. He says, okay, I want you all to do this. Wait. And I saw Alvin get on the floor. He had his camera.
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, oh, I am loving this, loving this, loving this. And so what it takes to, and that's Tracy over there on the side walking down.
Tracy Kincaid.
And so I'm telling you, when I think about when it comes to directing and literally choreographing things together when it comes to filmmaking, like what's some of your favorite things when you get a cast or get a folks together?
I tell people I like people who for themselves and who allow the whole process to happen. I love being on time. I hate people who kill themselves. I love people who have a good spirit because I can work with someone with a good spirit quicker than I can someone who's talented. Because someone who's talented with a bad spirit brings the whole situation down. So just have good energy, a good spirit. Because hey, I always say, with the time we got left, we want to spend it with good people in good places doing good things.
Man, that is a blessing. Speaking of that, just real quick, not off the subject. So did you see the story today with the young lady, well, not the young lady, older lady that was 117 years old, and she was literally born here in the state but live in Spain? And what you just said is exactly what she said. The reason why she made 117, she said she surrounded herself by good people that got her out, communicated and talked to her and did everything she had to do, and that's phenomenal. So looking at what you just talking about is just incredible. But the question I got for you too is, like my son, he's in this space with you, just like these young men and these young women that you're working with at Chicago State. And I'm glad you mentioned about being on time because that's more than just being at school. That's a job or career situation. But when you are touching these young men and women that are coming up trying to get into business, what is the one thing, because making film back in 88, 89 is not like it is right now in 2024. So what's the one thing that you harp on and you work with your students about making sure that they grasp this particular subject so they can be successful?
I took a class a while ago, a class at the National Association of Broadcaster. Tyler Perry was directing it, and he said, use what's in your hand. We quite often think about what we don't have, and that delays the process. Oh man, as soon as I get this, start what you got in your hand. Because if you start what you got in your hand, the universe will bring everything you need to. So I start the semester off with this. And it goes back to what you were saying. You get more books, you can get more land, you get more money. You don't get no more time.
Right.
So you use what's in your hand with the time, and everything else will come to you. So using your time and what's in your hand is the most important things.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, this has been a wonderful, wonderful journey of you not only working in filmmaking, but training others. Like that is what I've walked away from you, always being inspired and inspiring others to like follow that. And for that young man to get an internship at Paramount, that's huge. What I'd love to do right now, what we have coming up is what you are currently working on. Ironically, I don't know if I'm going to point this out to you, Alvin. I just happened to I looked back at some of the photos and I was just thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, does this say Martha's Vineyard on the shirt?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's my that's my favorite shirt, and it's my favorite hat. Ironic.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
Oh my gosh! Well, we have questions about the latest docuseries that you have coming up, but let's let the audience get a chance to see I like to call it the preview of this. Is the trailer that you sent both to myself and Coach. Yeah. Here we go. Let's take a look at it.
Imagine, if you will, an exclusive vacation destination spot on the East Coast that caters to the rich, the famous, and the common man. Tourists that flock to this New England haven of rest make reservations a year in advance to be there and enjoy the finest of foods, exclusive and cozy shopping, activities for the entire family, and friendly locals. And even though this hub for the wealthy and the middle class is now known to be a place to refresh the body, its original intent was exclusively to save people's souls. Welcome to the many stories of Martha's Vineyard with historian Andrew Patch.
This is where Oak Bluff started with camp meetings that started in the year 1835. And where I'm seated right now is in the center of the stage of the tabernacle, which is where it all happened, even before there was a tabernacle as such. These camp meetings started in 1835, as I said. At that time, there was a rough speaker stand made out of wood and surrounded by originally just 9 tents. These were society tents, which housed the congregants of mainland congregations from New Bedford and other places in the Southeast Methodist Conference.
And so I'm 5th generation, you call me 5th generation vineyarder. My great-great-grandfather, Charles Scherer, came to Martha's Vineyard in the late 1800s. At the time, people of color, if they missed the boat, could not stay at any of the island hotels because of the color of their skin. So eventually, as time went on, he founded a church, and he would put people up in his church, later in his home, and I think the bell clicked off in his brain that there is no one to cater to people of color for housing.
That's deep.
Hey. Many kudos. I see it was official selection for the Marina Del Rey Film Festival in 2023. So this has been going around. When was the docu-series finished?
Well, that was the first. So what happened was my partner played ball with at Boston University, Sean Porter. His parents bought a home on Martha's Vineyard back in the 60s for $15,000.
Oh, wow.
That house now is worth over $3 to $4 million.
Right, easy.
He had to come down. Yeah. Oh man, that's easy. Now. So he had me come down like 5 summers ago. He's like, "Hey, Alvin, I want to start a docu-series about Martha's Vineyard." He really didn't have a clue, but he knew I was a creative. So what we did 2 summers ago, he had me sit down with a historian, Andrew Patch. This guy talked for 6 hours straight about Martha's Vineyard. So what you'll see in the first 10 minutes is him talking about the history, and then the last 10 minutes will be people who are doing it on the vineyard right now. Again, from him talking, I got at least 10 episodes ready to rock and roll. We just put up the 2nd episode today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that reminds me too of I laughed when I saw that, because it reminded me of that show that just got kicked off the TV after the 2nd season, The Black People on Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I think the beautiful part about this is another part about being a filmmaker in this age. There's so many other places that you can put your work. When I first started, you had to go to a program director, then you had to go to this person. You had to go to so many gatekeepers. The internet has leveled the playing field. So you ain't got to wait on nobody. People are going viral by just putting it out in the atmosphere. Again, begin with what you got in your hands.
Yeah, and it's funny. Martha's Vineyard is the scene of a lot of famous films, most notably Jaws. I did not know that. I did not know that. And so just kind of going over the history of Martha's Vineyard, and what were some of the major takeaways from that, literally the 10-hour interview with this gentleman about Martha's Vineyard and kind of the history of African Americans there?
Andrew Patch would still be talking right now about this guy. I could not shut him down, but that's enthusiastic. I'm telling you, he'd still be talking. And hey, man, let's go get some pizza. Yeah, let's go get some pizza. But back in 19 So again, The biggest takeaways that I took was, again, now it is the most sought after vacation spot in the United States. But
Yeah.
back in the day, people originally went there to get their souls saved. And then as time went along, they saw how beautiful it was. It was like, hey, I want to bring my family. So they had to come from out of the tent revival into their own space. And then blacks started coming. And as Mr. Van Allen said, his great grandfather said, hey, let me start a place where blacks can have a place to live while they're here. They housed the Commodores. The Commodores got their start there. Joe Louis would come over. He had a place there. He would be at Sheriff Cottage. You could see the Madam C.J. Walker. All of the who's who back in the day would come to Martha's Vineyard and be right there at Sheriff Cottage with Mr. Van Allen's great-great-grandfather.
And that's amazing. And I know that I've seen some different things as well about the famous on the lighthouse.
That's
you know,
right.
that back in the day that a lot of the blacks had to basically become fishermen. You know, they had to sit there, work on the docks, you know, and whatnot. And then they were able to then, because they were able to get in, of course, obviously lobster and shrimp and whatever else was going, oysters. Then they were able to what they call sleep where you fish. And because they're able to give you a room because you worked it off that day. So you basically didn't get any money, but you worked for the majority. And then you gave up the fish and the food that you caught just to have a place to sleep at night to go get up and do it all over again. So to see that, you know, the historian that you got a chance to talk to, I'm sure he could have continued on and on, but I'm sure that he took you to some very critical places in Martha's Vineyard that a lot of people don't even know or talk about.
That's right. Well, I think the biggest thing about my career, I started out in music videos. One of the most famous music videos with a video by a group called Crucial Conflict. Hey, in the middle of the park, we built this big.
Hey,
Hey, in the middle of the park.
And yeah, y'all got it. Rodeo.
You know, we know we Southside, baby.
And I went from videos to, you know, going into my brand, which is Preacher's Kids, and that's a docu-comedy. So I've always been around documentaries, docu-comedies, docu-series, and this piece just plays right into it. The biggest thing I need to let people know is it's not, many people look at it like, man, it takes a lot of money to go there. No, it doesn't. You just got to plan it. You're not just going to show up on, think Thursday, hey, let's go to Martha's Vineyard, get there on Friday, and think you're going to have a place to stay.
Right.
Those places are booked up a year in advance.
Yep.
You got to plan your trip. And once you get over there, man, it's just a great place to hang out and have a good time with Black people as well as white people.
Yeah, there's also a film festival that happens on Martha's Vineyard too. What's the name of the film festival that's there?
The Martha's Vineyard Film Festival. There's also a comedy, the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Festival run by Steve Capers and Damon Williams. And they're in the second episode. So each episode, I'm going to give you someone else that's doing something major outside of the history that starts the piece. So that you really get a chance to see, hey, there's a lot of great things going on. And I'm telling you, the whole month of August is just a beautiful time for just Black people just to hang out. Not that we don't hang out the whole summer, but when I say August is August, oh my God, it's incredible.
Here's the thing. The Martha's Vineyard, and in fact, I think one of my favorite films, I don't know if it was shot in Martha's Vineyard, Jump in the Broom, the one that was produced by T.D. Jakes, but it was kind of, you know, surrounding that theme of, you know, there's the wealthy Blacks and then there's the ones that are not, you know, not so wealthy, and just there was that extreme, there was no middle class, it was just that extreme. Did you hear about those types of stories from David Allen?
Yes, I did. He talked about people who had wealth, who were there to relax and have a good time, and then those, like the coach said, who had to work, who were just there just trying to make a living. I think the biggest thing, the difference now and then is now, the Hamptons, you have a lot of what I like to call shishi foo black people who go up there to hoity-toity, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
This vineyard is just so relaxed, down to earth. You'll see Spike Lee, you'll see the Obama kids, you'll see a little bit of everybody just hanging out, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real relaxed atmosphere. And if you just take one summer. Once you go one time, you're gonna want to go every summer.
Man, that's incredible. And and the funny part about it, we wind back when you're talking about the preacher's kid. When you're looking at that, why preacher's kid is always so bad, man? Stay at stuff, stay at everything. But I loved it when I heard you call that name. That was perfect. And what you just said was almost identical to the question that Val was just talking about. And I can't remember the name of that show, but it was the same thing. There was the rich part of it with Morris Chestnut,
right,
with his wife.
Right.
And then there was the poor part of it, which is her friend was just basically a nobody, but come to find out her great grandfather who had the history with certain things at the lighthouse and the money and this and that.
That's
Did
right.
you, while you were there, were you able to find out, because us as blacks, we got a lot of history from building this country. Were you able to find out a lot of the history from the African Americans? It was in a particular area, or was it kind of like spread out throughout, the vineyard?
That's good. It's kind of ironic because I got on a hat that says the Inkwell, and basically that was one of the movies that was made a while. That was about 10, 15 years ago. It was so whites were everywhere and blacks were segmented to this one area. And if they ever went to the beach, they went to a space and it was termed the Inkwell because that's where black people were. Now, there's no such thing as the Inkwell. The Inkwell is still there, but trust me, black people are everywhere. I don't know if you've seen the film American Fiction. A lot of that was filmed on Martha's Vineyard as well. So again, we're all over the place now. Whereas back in the day, again, Sharer Cottage was just important in terms of allowing people to stay overnight. Because if you didn't have a place to stay, you would either stay on the grass where you were working or go back over on the ferry and then come back the next day. But now, hey man, you can rent one of them cottages and just have a good time for a week or two.
Did they make his granddaddy's church? Have they made it like a special monument or a special historical place there on the vineyard?
Yeah. The name of the place is hotel. It's a bed and breakfast.
That's correct, right?
Sharer Cottage. They're doing a renovation now, but the first episode talks about how he went from just coming over, checking it out, started a little business, saw that blacks didn't have a place to stay, opened Sharer Cottage, and 20, 30 years later, it's still there.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, this is such a amazing docu-series. And here's the thing, I'm assuming now the docu-series is going on tour with you. In other words, you're showing it at different film festivals. What's the next film festival that the Martha's Vineyard docu-series is going to pop up at?
Well, I mean, again, I'm just grateful that, how do I put this? Again, it went from having to knock on doors to get stuff on to now there's all types of opportunities. So the docuseries right now is streaming on bricktv.com. Bricktv.com. They do a lot of black films, a lot of black TV shows. And then it's also streaming on Vaughn.tv. That's WVON streaming channel. I'm talking Hulu as well. So again, it probably won't hit any more film festivals. It went straight to streaming and we're rocking and rolling. We plan on putting out 3 episodes a year because again, my man talked to me for about 12 hours. So the first 10 minutes is him giving history. The last 15 minutes is just different happenings going on the island.
Wow.
Wow. And just to be clear, the name of the show, I was just looking that up, Our Kind of People. It was a drama that was on Fox, and it was based on a book, Lawrence Otis Graham.
Yeah.
Morris
I
Chestnut
think
was in there. Yeah. Mhm.
And one thing I've seen, there's been a lot of films either centered in Martha's Vineyard or about it, but no one has given a real history. So that's my lane. I'm gonna ride my lane as long as I can. Just giving people stories. I love telling stories.
And the one thing that I got a chance to see in person at the ETA theater was Preacher's Kids. I got my signed shirt and everything.
Blessings.
Preacher's Kids was something that was a series that was on a few
Yeah.
streaming services. Where can people find that?
It's on Prime. It's on Tubi. It's on Big TV. It's on Vaughn TV. We're about to start running on HBCU Go Network, which is run by Byron Allen. It's a funny look at the church from the view of the preacher's kid. I'm going to be doing that for the rest of my life because everywhere I go, I run into a preacher's kid, and they all have a story. So again, that's the brand, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to. Last year, my mom passed, and
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I took a year away from that to develop some other things. And the beautiful part about life is if you follow your spirit, it'll tell you where you need to go. So many people wouldn't open the door in terms of streaming channels for preachers' kids, but they open up the door for something else. And then once I'm in the door, hey, I got some other stuff. So again, you got to follow your spirit. You got to follow your spirit. And again, I can't say enough, Val, how much I'm grateful that you allow me to come on your platform.
And to come back, because this is live. The other one that we did with you before was kind of recorded. And like I said, Tracy,
you didn't come on here with Coach Tony, baby. You good.
Good. Blessings. I look to see you soon in Chicago, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Blessings.
Wow. So we're asking our audience if you have any questions for Alvin. Alvin. Yeah. Go ahead and place it in the chat. They've gotten so into it. Our audience went up, and we're like, oh, okay, everybody's getting all quiet into it or whatever. But to hear that you're going to be doing Preacher's Kids again, I'd love to see it again live. Coach Tony, it is so funny.
Oh, Ben, the question I was going to ask you, and you mentioned something a moment ago, and it was pretty interesting. What is the mindset from doing three separate things? One, a documentary that you did there in Martha's Vineyard. Two, working on a film set that you're trying to produce a film, i.e. a Spike Lee or Byron Allen, whatever. And three, doing a stage play. Which one of those are the most difficult one to work on?
Brother, I got 8 projects going on, and I say this. Preacher's Kids will begin again at the 10-minute play festival at Chicago State. We do a 10-minute play festival. So you'll see an excerpt, and then we'll roll it out. To answer your question, the most anxiety piece is a stage play because you only get one chance.
Okay.
With a TV show or play or a documentary, hey, cut. Let's take another.
Yeah.
No, a stage play, it's either got to jump or it ain't gonna jump. And the great thing about it is there is no canned laughter. They either love it or they don't like it. And I'm
like a comedian trying to tell a joke at all back in the day, at all jokes aside.
That's right. So I'm just grateful that I found my niche. And people love Preacher's Kids, the Untold Stories. And again, the play will be coming back in April.
That's nice.
Yeah. We look forward to checking that out. And like I said, we've been reviewing other people that do, I want to call it plays, things that are here local in Chicago, because highlighting some of our, I want to call it homegrown talent, that has been the root of what's been happening here with Talk on Tuesdays. And so I when I see that you spread joy with this particular play. It's exciting, and I just wanted to personally just say thank you. And we look forward for it coming back to a Chicago stage near us.
Oh, that's a done deal. I can't say enough. The scriptures say a prophet is only with honor at home, and quite often you have to go away to come back. But I'm grateful for platforms like yours and others that allow local artists to show their wares so that people can be like, you know what? I can touch him. I can, I say this, last year when my mom died, my whole modus operandi changed. So I'm not going after awards. I'm not going after fame. I'm going after doing things that enlighten my spirit. And if God allows it to go to another level, fine. If not, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to bring some happiness to people in whatever I do.
Yeah, that's a question I was going to ask you too, Brother Al. Do you try to tell a certain story? Like a comedian, right? They build up, but the comedian is telling a certain story and using each of his show, unless you like a good Dave Chappelle who can build onto that, and one show may not sound like the next show. Do you kind of do that where you got the comedy going and it's telling that certain particular story, or is it something that you kind of seen in the back of your mind, like, hey, I've been here, done that. I'm just telling that story.
Well, with the Preacher's Kids, it's different sketches from different Preacher's Kids. What you'll see is an interview with a Preacher's Kid talking about growing up, and then my actors act out a funny scene from life.
Okay.
But if you ever see something that I produce, I want you to leave with a good feeling, because there are enough things that we're dealing with, politics, the economy, just so many negative things that if it's me, I want you to leave with a smile on your face saying, you know what, I felt good for that 15, 20 hour, 2 hours with Alvin. That's the main thing I want you to leave with. And I think in doing that, not only am I giving you my spirit, but my mother's spirit is living through me. The greatest compliment I got was the other day. My wife said, you are a manifestation of your mother. What more can I ask for?
Right.
Blessings.
That means you did it right. Because, again, you did it right, because and that's preached to these young kids, because nowadays, they don't get it. Some of them do and some of them don't. That's why, I go back to something funny you was talking about in one of your past interviews. They were talking, when a young lady asked you about, would it be a Spike Lee? Would it be a Tyler Perry? And you threw up the Byron Allen. I love that. But the reason why you didn't pull Spike in there, you did at the end, was you were talking about the seriousness. And I love it. My sister done several Spike Lee films in the past. But what I love about Spike is Spike always made us think, right? Right? Look at the kickoff and do the right thing. If Sal would have just gave Bugging out some more mozzarella on his pizza, the window wouldn't have got broke, right? And then if they wouldn't have been messing with Radio Raheem with the box, it'd have been good. But do you know the major comedians on that show is not even with us no more? And Robin Harris and those guys sit on that sidewalk every day and saw the Koreans and Orientals sell to us in our own neighborhood, which is still going on 30 years from 30 years from then to now. And those blacks in those communities are some still sitting on that sidewalk, still drinking that same beer. So Spike was trying to make that point. Look at even when he did, with Wesley Snipes, back in the day, Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever? Yes.
Who was going to take the time to see a brother and a white woman? Now is in reverse. You're seeing sisters and white guys. So it's crazy.
I pay homage to everyone out there sharing their gift. I tell my students all the time, you can go to many intersections. You'll see McDonald's, you'll see Wendy's, you'll see Burger King, you'll see White Castle. On each of the four corners, hey, one day I might want Wendy's. Hey, one day I might want White Castles. There's enough love out here for everybody. Hating ain't gonna get you nothing. This is one of my Facebook posts the other day. Hate only destroys the hater.
Oh, right.
Hate only destroys the hater. So as long as I put out good vibes, good things come back to me, baby.
There you go. Hey, it destroyed the hater because he don't know how to get hated on.
That's right. That's right.
Mr. Springer caught on to one of the things you just said,
That's right.
Alvin. The beautiful thing about life is if you follow your spirit, it will tell you where you need to go.
Right.
And so these are some golden gems. This is a professor, a teacher, a
Yeah.
mentor. This is Alvin. This is what he does.
It's what I do every day. And again, I have to lead with you can get more money, you can get more land, you can get more education. You don't get no more time, baby.
I'm getting more time. That's the only thing. Hey, Val, you got to start making me think we done.
Yeah, we don't know when that time is.
Right.
But if you lived your life to its fullest every day. You know, I'm doing a documentary on a young lady, and she said, death is gonna have to catch me. That's deep. I'm not
That's deep.
gonna here and let death take me out. Death's gonna have to catch me because I'm gonna be out here doing what I need to do.
I'm out here running. I'm at the street. I'm running.
So well, that's right, Coach. You do it so well.
Yeah, you know, it's the old story of the lion and the gazelle, right? I don't have to catch the fastest gazelle. I just need to catch the slowest one day, and I'm gonna eat.
Who? There it is. I think that's back in the day. Who? There it is.
So,
There it is.
That's right.
So
Right.
mention again where people can see the docu-series on Martha's Vineyard, the mini stories of Martha's Vineyard.
BrickTV.com, BondTV.com, and I'm working on a deal with Hulu now. I want to send a special shout out to my boy Sean Porter. Again, his family bought a house. His father, this is funny, man. His father back in 1950s learned how to fly a plane. A black man. So he put his money together, bought his own plane. Okay, I need you to. Back in the 50s, black people didn't do this. But
right.
My partner's father was just that guy. He put his money together, bought a house on Martha's Vineyard, and now, you know, we go every year and we keep it moving. So again, if you get a chance, just go. Once you go one time, you're gonna want to go again. And again,
I think he learned how to fly now because he was saying himself, if the white folk get stuck over here, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm gonna be on that bird.
Right. That's right. That's right. Well, it's funny. One night we played a game in Boston. Like I said, I played at Boston University, and it was late. It was like, you know, Mr. Porter, you gonna get a hotel? It's like, no, man, I'm gonna get in my plane and fly back to New York. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But that's the type of example that lets you know, hey, I can do anything I put my mind to.
That's dope.
Mindset. Yeah. It's all about mindset and changing the mindset of young people and helping them see that they're able to do anything. My Bible tells me I could do all things through Christ.
It is.
So that's what I'm believing. So there it is. But
Brother Albert, do you see a lot of your students are visionaries?
So let's do like this. This is it. I've been teaching for 23 years. To answer your question, yes. To answer your question, yes. But I've been teaching for 23 years, and I had to change how I teach.
Right.
Because these kids show up today feeling entitled.
Ouch.
I'm here, Professor Dan. Bro, you 20 minutes late. they don't get the importance of time.
Right.
And I preach that. Anybody who's ever been in my class knows that I preach time. But I'm grateful that on down the line, kids get it. I got a young lady, Isley Gooden. She's an anchor in Milwaukee. And she would say, man, I used to hate when you said that. But only now do I realize what you're talking about. I got a couple of kids over at Center Space, work on Chicago PD, Chicago Fire. I got a young lady out in LA, works for ESPN. So again, there's some good, you're gonna be influential in some kids' lives. Some kids' lives, they might not get it, but all you can do is let your light shine.
Man, you got that Jordan, man. You like me. I'm 23 years on that sideline coaching, and you're exactly right.
Yes, sir.
You know, the time we don't get back. I tell kids, you walk in my gym, and not only do I got time, I'm measured by time. See, well, you got the classroom and you teaching, doing this and that, you may have extended time. I walk in, I'm being told I got this time to start and that time to finish. And if you walk in late and then you acting a fool and then you're not listening, you are wasting my time.
That's
And
right.
I can't get that back because in 45 minutes to an hour, I have to get you out of here. Physically, I have to get you out of here. So, when you're looking at that with these young kids and you're looking at the one that on a hit show, right? With Dick. Dick's got a hit show with the PD and the fire and the med. How do they come back and talk to you in terms of, man, Teacher Alvin, you told me to do X, Y, and Z, and now I'm over here in the real world, and what you said is twofold.
Yeah, I think, again, Val, Coach, we have to sometimes put ourselves in their role, because when we were younger, somebody be like, blah, 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 blah. You be like, man, I don't want to hear that right now. I'm going over here to do that other. But you just hope that, here's another nugget. My grandfather would say, if somebody gives you a map, take the map. You might not need it today, but on down the line, you might need to know how to get from the north side to the west side. So all I can do is give them a map, and hopefully someday they'll look at it and be like, you know what? Professor Daniels told me that. I can keep it moving. So I totally got it, Coach. I got much respect for you, brother, because you, as a coach, are teaching a whole different generation of entitled kids who think that they should be starting, and then you got their parents on your back. Hey, man, nothing but love for you, brother.
Val spent a weekend with me, covering me, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. The good thing that I can say on that, Brother Alvin, is that I have been blessed with great kids who listen to me, and the reason why is because the kids that come play for me, it's kind of like you teaching, right? Like you came out of Boston. So when I get on the floor, I'm still in good shape and I can still play. I'm gonna still talk in your ear. I'm gonna still talk crazy to you.
That's right.
When they see that, hey man, coach can still play. So now that gives them a certain level of respect. And then when I coach and they understand I know what I'm talking about, they're like, oh, wow. And then they look and say, wow, oh, he's also put 200 or 300 kids in the last 20, 23, 25 years. Maybe he knows a little bit more than what my mom and dad's trying to tell me.
That's right.
That becomes that wow factor, Right. And I know with you in the situation that, I know when I was at home, we like Chicago State, come on. But now they got someone like you at Chicago State that's making a difference.
Yeah.
Man, I applaud you on that, my brother.
Well, they say by their fruit, you'll know them. And Val, just get ready. I'm going to have you come over and talk to my kids about the whole podcast world. I mean, again, it's about exposing them to people who are doing it. Don't just sit here and tell what you can do, man. Time is ticking. And you don't want to look back 20 years from now and be like, man.
What a good sugar.
I have some thoughts I'd love to share with you. Recently, this cast is currently on tour. Kind of encouraged many of us back in the day to want to pursue being in college. You guys remember them? Come on,
show right there, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That made you want to go to school. Hey, Brother Al, I didn't know anything about the HBCU world coming out of a PWI. But when I got down south, I'm in Nashville, man, and I got here to TSU and down to Clark, Atlanta, and Morehouse and Spelman. Those shows right there, it was always in the back of my mind. You could already see it.
Well, I'm going to say this. Anybody who graduates from an HBCU deserves a double degree, because I would come from my PWI, Boston University, on the weekends to Hampton and Howard. And after the weekend, I'd be like, y'all better get me the hell up out of here.
Right.
There's too much going on. Oh, my God. So, again, it's a beautiful feeling to be around your people and to just do things that are great. So, again, we're trying to create that atmosphere at Chicago State. And it's slowly happening under the great leadership of President Z. Scott.
That's good.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you so very much for joining us, Coach. I think Loyola, I think the girls team, I think did very well over the weekend. But with some sports talk, if you could share with Alvin some of your picks for, what do you have? This March Madness coming up, women's and basketball. I don't know if you guys
first of all, Brother Alvin, we're gonna cover ourselves for promotional purposes only.
You have to say that for promotional purposes only. So
but I tell you this. You done got a chance to buy you a couple of hats if you listen to some of my picks in the past.
Okay.
But, but I tell you what, on the women's side of the house, You know, speaking of women in the month of March, we cover, we talk. I get a lot of my homeboys talk crazy to me because I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan out of the University of Iowa. I'm not just a fan because she's a young white lady doing what she's doing. I'm a fan of athletes. And this young lady spends the majority of her time with Steph Curry. And Steph wouldn't spend time with her unless he thought that she was going to do what she had to do. Now, you think about it, the young lady gets the opportunity to knock off South Carolina last year, then lose the national championship game to Angel Reese. Angel Reese then shines, but then doesn't do the things she's supposed to do. And then Caitlin Clark comes back her senior year and just blows water through everybody. And now she goes from down here to what? The number one pick in the WNBA coming in the next few months. So that's hats off to her.
She's going to get paid.
And go get paid. And looking at what Angel and those guys did, I have these guys laughing. Does she have a State Farm commercial? No, but this young lady does.
Yeah.
She with Jake from State Farm, baby.
Well, I think the part about Caitlin is she's opening up opportunities for women that may never been there before. She'll probably get the first $2, $3, $4 million contract coming out as a WNBA. So
players that haven't even seen, and I was listening to CBS today, and Nate Burleson said, I love his comment. She's not just the woman that you want to respect as a scorer. She's an all-time basketball player. So we take the women's title off of her head. She just got past Pete Maravich. That record's been there since the 60s.
That's right.
You know, now that's incredible. So on the women's side of the house, I'm looking at a complete rematch of a different sort. I'm hoping that this Sunday they place Iowa and South Carolina opposite, because I got to see my girl Dawn Staley with them Chanel bags and them Chanel clothes on the sideline, you know. And then, you know, if you're going to win a title for Dawn, why not stop the best player in the history of basketball, in my personal opinion? So on the women's side of the house, Brother Alvin, I've got Iowa, South Carolina matching up. And that's going to be a great matchup because Iowa put South Carolina out last year in the Final Four. So that would be a huge national championship game.
Dawn is going to be there, okay? I love Caitlin. I love what she's doing. But them girls at South Carolina are no joke.
Oh, I know that.
No joke.
For Wally, the freshman, kill it.
No joke. The girls at LSU, no
joke.
So again, I'm a fan of ball like you are. I just love to see good ball, and I'm glad to see the women's game is just taking it up a notch, man. I was back in the day, I was a WNBA groupie. Cheryl, come on, man.
Hey, and speaking of that, you need to tune in. I'm on Monday nights on the Pull Up Podcast show. I'm gonna get you on there, but we talking sports and mix in a little bit of what you're doing. Cause I love it because you got that basketball mind, and you are doing what I teach my AU guys and my young guys is when the ball stops bouncing, where is the next plan?
Here's a shameless plug. I got another documentary called Redemption, the Johnny Fort story. Johnny Fort was by day All-American back in 1983. By night, he was the leading leader of the El Rookin Street gangs. Okay, he went to Iowa played. He played with Steph Curry's dad. He did a 2-year bid. He just came out. We did another documentary. So I'd love to come on and talk about that. I can talk
because I know, and we could do that. And my old man grew up with Jeff Ford, so I get it. I already know. So and then and that'd be great. So I'm gonna definitely schedule Val. We're gonna schedule Brother Alvin on my show so we can get it done. And then on the men's side of the house, if you really want to make some promotional dollars, I think I don't know if you're gonna be with me on this one, but I think there's 16 teams that can win this year. I don't think that there's a true clear-cut favorite. You know how every year we see the Kentuckys and the Michigan States and and the Dukes of the world. They're not going to be there. I really think this is going to be a year, kind of like last year with San Diego that made it, San Diego State, brother, that made it. But my money is riding on my main man, Calvin Sampson, because they didn't think when he left the AAC and jumped to the Big 12, he's going to do what he's able to do. And he's number one out of the AAC. Then he jumped to the Big 12, number one in the conference. And now Houston is number one in the nation. But what I like about them, they play defense. They are solid defensively.
Val, coach is over there preaching. Can we raise an offering? Because this man is.
Hey, Val. Hey, hey, Val. We're gonna have a building fund. We're gonna have that building fund. We will never build nothing, but we're gonna get that building fund.
Get out that cash for the building. Now we might not build nothing, but we gonna have a building fund. Oh, that's one of my preacher's kids sketches, baby. We got that building fund, baby. Praise the Lord.
I can't wait to see the preacher's kid, man. I'm excited.
I think Coach just auditioned for you, Alvin. I think he just auditioned for you.
Hey, the new brother, keep it real. He just got saved, but you don't want to take him too far off base because he might do something.
Right.
Coach, funny, baby. Brother, keep it real.
Hey, boy, I can't wait to get you on the show. Last week, me and Val, we did some movie reviews. I want to see your thought process. So, did you get an opportunity to see Mia Coppola?
Yes, sir.
So Val gave it thumb down, and I gave it thumbs up. And the reason why I gave it thumb, I said you got to see Mia Coppola in a hood theater, right? So, because you're gonna have a couple cats eat some chicken wings, you gonna have a couple dudes sipping on that brown, and you got the smoke. And if you go to the hood theater, they gonna tell you what's coming on, Coach, even though they ain't seen the movie. They gonna tell you the next scene and don't even know the next scene.
Coach, okay, wait. So, Alvin, your opinion of Mia Coppola? I just need to hear this.
So let's put it like this. I respect everyone's art. Tyler Perry has done a certain this is Tyler Perry. These have been his films. He stretched with Mia Coppola. And I liked it because I like anything that I don't know what the hell's going to happen next. And that film, I'm like, okay, this is where they're going to wrap it up. Oh, hell no. French. Something else happened. And then, okay, here come in. Oh, hell no. Here comes out. So I like things that I don't know what's going to happen next. And he definitely did his thing on that piece.
And then he made the white lady a thug. Come on, man.
Okay. So Alvin, I was not a fan.
Okay.
I was not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I was thinking
she didn't like the paint scene. She didn't like the paint scene.
Oh, come on.
Love the paint scene.
Okay, the paint scene took it to a whole nother level.
Right. Check it out. Hey, Al. Even my girl Jasmine was on last night from Loyola saying, I love the paint scene. Come on now.
You got people like Sherwin Williams talking about, can I get the red and the yellow paint?
Yeah, exactly.
Paint store ever in their life. Come on.
No, and no.
Can I get that to go? And add me some fries on the side, and I don't do onions, so take the onions off.
Absolutely not. I was thinking crazy thoughts, and I had to sit there. I was like, thank goodness I can do a fast forward to the next scene. What's gonna happen next? I don't want to see the paint scene. Get out of here with that. Keep your clothes on.
She messed the best part of it, Al. She messed that because that part, when the paint scene was done, the movie completely did a 160 or 180 rather.
180. Okay. Well, there were some things that were very predictable. Now here's the other thing. One Love, Bob Marley. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think of that?
Again, I'm a fan of stories. I think that they did an excellent job, and the main character brought it home. Again, acting is more than just reading lines. He became Bob Marley like Jamie Foxx became Ray Charles.
Oh, okay. That's a good example.
You feel his whole spirit. So again, I believe they did an amazing job with that film.
Okay, so that was Kingsley Ben-Air. He is an English actor. And of course, I loved Lashana Lynch, who embodied Rita Marley very well.
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
And again, Brother Al, see the movie at a hood theater. Bob Marley, you got to smoke the Bob Marley and your chicken wings, and that's a whole nother One Love. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to get a contact, and you're going to find, oh, man, come on, man. You didn't do that, did you? Come on, man. Go in that room, man.
Hey, but they walk in speaking English, but they walk out talking, "What's the gun, Jamal? What are you talking about?" Everybody come out speaking Jamaican. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin, Malcolm, Daniels, guys, give it up for our guests on
Let's
tonight. And
go.
of course, thank you so much, Mr. Springer. If you want to go ahead and reach out to Alvin, we're giving your Facebook. Is that okay,
That's
Alvin?
good. I appreciate it. Thank you. You'll be able to
Exactly. And if
next
you want to
time.
go ahead and check out the documentary and the docu-series, please go to ricktv.com and Bond TV. Is that correct?
Brick.
Brick.
Oh, Brick TV. Okay.
BRICK. Brick TV.
Brick
Like,
TV.
like you throw a brick through a window, Val. You done that.
I like that, Val. You put it up quick. Brick.
Yeah.
Well, it's called typing.
There
There
it
you
is.
go.
There it is. That's a lost art form skill. These kids don't
There
know.
you go. Lost art form.
That's
That
right.
and in cursive writing.
That's right. Don't know about that. TV.com. That's right.
And we're going to be closing out with our Women's History Month. We'll be back on next week. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. And of course, A DJ Saved My Life. It is the ebook that's coming out on this month. We're going to try to get it out on March 15th. But of course, it's in pre-edits now. If you've gone ahead and purchased it, thank you so very much. And we really appreciate it. So that's the QR code. And I'll ask Mr. Springer to go ahead and put it in the chat. Join us next week on the Pull Up Podcast. That would be with Coach Tony. And then join us again on next week for Talk on Tuesdays. Myself and Coach, we want to thank Alvin for being here.
Right.
And it's time to say goodnight. What you got, Coach?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Thank you guys for coming into the show tonight with my man Al. And I'm glad you showed up because I had to get somebody else to talk about this stuff with Val. You know what I'm saying? That was perfect. But hey, I'm glad. And again, you're more than welcome to show up on the Monday nights to Pull Up Podcast show with none other than your guy, Coach Tony, and the guests talking sports and more. Got some exciting guests come up, so stay tuned. And like I said, this is Interludes Talk on Tuesday. Make sure you like us, share us, and more importantly, subscribe to this show.
Blessings.
Thank you
Blessings.
so- Blessings, and
you all are